Where am I?
Luckily, I do.
I'm sipping my green tea.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting edition of Bad Boy Crimes.
Yes.
If you're here from a dating app, it's not me.
Thanks for keeping that in from the
It
other take.
It was an important bit.
Yeah.
It needed to be said.
Okay, well, hello.
El Coyote. No, what is El Coyote?
I don't know. Someone in the Discord said I was. They just said I was El Coyote. That was their nickname for me, and I added that into my Discord handle, and I don't remember the context. So
Right.
That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We also have Arthur de Lesbiano.
That's right. What's up, motherfuckers? Did you like how I didn't talk until you introduced me? Except for just to announce that I was going to take a sip of my tea, and then I did a big loud sip. But other than that, I was very professional.
I liked.
I'm
the
glad
sipping.
I'm glad you only broke your silence for an important piece of information.
I'm learning to prioritize. You got to pick your battles.
What are your big priorities?
You're doing better than previously, where you before starting a story, you put an onion ring in your mouth.
I like those. That was good.
See,
it was fun.
It's subjective whether or not
you're improving on your on mic.
Yeah,
your on mic presence. I'm just saying you're doing better than before.
I think Arthur was always doing great.
Well, if you go back and listen to the GameStop episode, you may disagree.
Well, that one got like super. Didn't that one get really mangled somehow, like in the edit? Like not because of you, like the file just got weird.
Maybe. That was it.
Who's to say?
It was a weird
don't
file.
Remember.
I'm pretty sure that's whatever.
Don't
listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I wasn't experiencing a crisis. It was actually a digital. It was a glitch.
Yeah.
Hey, you were not having a good time.
That's what I mean. You're doing better now. And then the previous time you're on here, you didn't have a job, and now you have a job.
And yet, every time I'm on this podcast, my life just gets worse.
Arthur is the Benjamin Button to Coach.
This podcast saved my life.
All right, what is that? What does that look like?
I'm not doing a follow-up question. I didn't know what it meant when I said it. I'm incapable of conjuring an explanation after the fact. We're just gonna move on.
Well, you don't do well with follow-up.
How great's moving on?
That's correct. I don't know, Coach. You tell me how great is moving on.
It's fine. Nothing matters.
Uh-huh.
You know, nothing's real.
That's true. Nothing is real.
Yeah. Crime's real, though.
Crime.
You might even say it's true. What about Doja Bat?
Yeah, I'm glad you kept that bit in from.
Well,
the
if you kept the other one in, I'm good.
The other one got a laugh.
We're playing all the hits.
Well, I'm sure it's someone in the audience. Yeah, all the hits from an hour ago that nobody remembers other than us. That's why we have to play them. It's our duty.
Yeah, it's like when you go to a concert and they're playing the new stuff, and you're like, "I just want to hear the hits." Those are the hits, but you don't know that yet.
Are we going to explain?
Concerts.
We know
that there was an aborted attempt before this.
Yeah. All right, fine. Coach does live in Texas, so we want to say it was before 6 weeks, but we did abort a previous episode.
We had been
How
recording for
great is
5.5
Texas?
weeks.
One of
We got there.
We stopped recording to
Yeah,
fix the
there
problem
was
of
an
the
episode.
delay.
There's a little bit of technical difficulties, you might imagine.
We stopped recording to fix the problem that
somebody
is
had a
currently
wife who
as
made
bad
them
as it's ever
food.
been.
Which I said was fine. The episode was aborted before that came up. So don't even trip. Don't blame my wife like she had anything to do with it.
Oh, I would never blame your wife for anything because she would get mad at me.
Because she's blameless in this situation, actually.
Arthur, what do you think?
Never met her. Nice lady.
Thank you, Arthur. Anyway, this is a true crime podcast wherein we will not discuss true crime for the next 20 minutes. How are you, Arthur?
I'm doing fine. I am the cause of the delay because my internet is terrible here because I share it with an entire condo complex. So that is frustrating, both now and
like
always.
One Wi-Fi, one router for like
Yes.
87
Yes.
people?
Absolutely. It's we're recording this. We're
not doing that.
Yeah, we're getting it under the wire. They're just about to fix it, so we're recording this. This is sort of a monument to the way things have been.
Okay. All right.
It's important to preserve the past, you know,
the good and the bad.
Unless it's a Confederate statue.
I think that we should forget the past. Why are people who are very conservative, they love like the way things used to be?
Yeah, it's because the way things used to be were the good old days, man.
I mean, yeah, sure. But if you don't know history, it's doomed to repeat itself. And they're always like, remember history? Remember the way things used to be? Just forget it and it'll come back. That's how it works. That's what I've been told.
I don't think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure.
If you forget history, you're doomed to repeat it. So stop telling people about the way things used to be, and it'll come right back.
Dude, we're not going to have the economic boom of the 90s ever again.
I don't think that's the time people are talking about when they say remember the good old days.
Well, that's the time I'm talking about.
I am currently
I've been watching
the economic
Sorry,
boom
go ahead,
of the
Arthur.
90s. Sorry.
Because you have a job.
Yeah, I have a job. A real job for the first time in a while.
Well, can you go into any details on your job or do you not want
Are you under an NDA?
I'm not under an NDA. I just it's for this like commercial production company basically. Part of me doesn't want to talk about it because I'm worried I can't make it interesting yet because I don't have enough details, and part of me doesn't want to talk about it because I don't want anyone to know how little I actually understand about what I will be doing. You know?
Oh boy, do I.
Oh, we know. we definitely know.
Well, good talk.
I will say, if this delay makes this
that'll be the story for next time.
Yeah, if this delay makes this a totally unworkable situation, I will take the blame for a cancellation. I will cover the costs of production for this podcast.
It's awfully generous of you, because it is. I mean, this is an expensive operation we have going. Lots of sponsors are going to be really upset.
Yeah, we have a hashtag ad coming up. So,
do we actually?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, we have a hashtag ad coming up. I won't tell you when it happens because now I've already said hashtag ad. So, listener beware.
Fun.
If you hear something that sounds a little bit unlike my normal opinion, like, interesting. I would ask him about it, but I know he doesn't do well with follow-up questions. You just have to live with that doubt.
Okay, how about Doja Meerkat Manor?
At least do an original one.
No. I think it's funnier to just read my tweets. Oh, man. Dude, I went on a YouTube rabbit hole.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of Defunct Land.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm unfamiliar.
It's a YouTube channel where this guy he makes videos on like old theme parks or theme park rides or like theme park history. And like the production quality is like really high. Like some of the videos are very well made. And it's been a good time. A lot of Disney related stuff. I hate being like a Disney adult, and I sound like I'm being a Disney adult right now, which is really bad. But the history of the parks are really interesting. And I've learned a lot. So check that. That's not an ad, just a fun little YouTube channel that I watched while I was working until I stopped. I'm done working for the whole year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
There's so much year left.
I know. I didn't realize I had. I thought I'd have to go in a little bit on Monday, and it turns out as an accounting person, I can't do math. So I actually had 2 extra days of PTO. So I've just been chilling.
What are you going to do with all your free time?
Well, nothing. And then I go home to Richmond, and then I come back and I do more of nothing.
That sounds great.
And that's what I'm letting the record show.
That sounds great.
I just watched that 2-hour Defunct Land video about the Fast Pass.
Oh, the Fast Pass one is great, dude.
Terrific stuff. Skill, you got to get in on this.
Yeah, there's a good plot twist, unironically.
Okay, spoiler.
You reach the halfway point and you think, surely this must be over. Surely the rest of this is a blank screen.
And then no, he keeps going.
Yeah, because it was only halfway over. Like I said,
it has 4 million views.
It's really I don't know. It's like you have to be kind of autistic about like logistics and like operations. And if you're not, it probably is really boring. But
yeah,
I think that's
autistic about
Kanye West
and like textures.
Eating ass. Yeah.
Also that.
I think we're closer to speaking in real time now. So what do you say, boys? We start over again?
Woo! What's up, gamers? Welcome to a new episode of Bad Boy Crimes, where anything can happen.
This is the Groundhog Day of podcast episodes.
This would be hell.
I should do the bit from the first take where I said we were going to re-put the theme song, and I should do that now. Wouldn't that?
Yeah, and then every 15 minutes we just restart the episode.
That's a fun little 50th anniversary bit.
Yeah.
50th
yeah,
episode.
50th. Yeah, 50, is this the 50th episode?
This is the 50th episode.
Wow. Look at how far we've come.
Wild.
Well, actually, no, it's not. It's the 50th episode of this year.
It's the 50th episode that's currently available to the public.
Well, according to my Apple phone iPod podcasts app, I'm an idiot. It is the last episode was 65.
We do have a deleted first season.
There are 15
That's on
episodes.
Patreon.
15 episodes in the Bad Boy Vault?
No, not that many. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
14, 15.
And perhaps, there's 13. And then I think there was maybe 2 times where.
Yeah, you did 2 solo ones that got deleted, right?
Yeah, those are gone. And
That
I also
counts the number.
I also uploaded a public episode and then re-uploaded it after editing, and that may have affected your numbers. Who's to say? If you downloaded the first one,
You just made your voice deeper.
13 vaulted episodes. Yeah, I had to go into witness protection for one episode because I said a thing that I was not supposed to say.
Did you really?
No.
I was like, I don't think we've gotten in trouble for that yet.
No, we should have. There are definitely things that we've said that do not align with the correct opinions.
I've never said anything controversial on this podcast or off this podcast, actually.
Name all of them.
Well, I can't because I haven't. So it's 0.
So it was all skill.
Now. It was all me. Yeah. I said, I did say cracker once.
That is racist.
That is a slur.
Is that really why? Is that really why Hassad Piker got kicked off of? Was it Twitter? I didn't follow that really, but I saw something about it.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I believe it.
But what's going on in the news?
I'll tell you what's going on in the news. The shopping cart killer, my dude.
Call your mom. Sorry.
We have a serial killer. The good news is he's in custody.
Oh, wait. I heard about this on the news. It literally is in the news right now.
It's in the news. Virginia.
Yeah.
It's genuinely, it throws me off when Skill has a sincere answer to a question of what's in the news. In the
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, it takes like a good minute. It'd be like, oh no, he's dead ass. Or this is what is in the news.
Yeah. This is a Virginia serial killer in the state since August. Now this says alleged serial killer, which means not convicted. And they give him a 3-name dox.
Free him.
Absolutely. Anthony Eugene Robinson.
Oh, that's a rough name.
Yeah. Eugene? Come on.
Huge.
In middle school, I had a history teacher who said that I had the name of a presidential assassin, but I would need to change my middle name to Lee. Arthur Lee Hickman. Maybe that's not fair, because I guess if you add Lee to any name in the middle, it does sound like a murderer. Skill Lee.
No, but like
name a serial killer whose middle name is Lee, or an assassin.
Lee Harvey.
That's the first name.
Yeah, and then
Lee Arthur Hickman. Now that's an assassin.
Robert E. Lee.
Oh, that's the last name. Also not an assassin.
John Lee.
You just said name people's names Lee.
I said Anthony Lee Robinson. Anyway, this human being, I don't want to presume, the shopping cart killer, because of his modus operandi,
Why you say you don't want to presume, and then you just hit him with the he/him pronoun? Fucking bigot.
It's funny.
This episode's going straight into trash. We got to start over after that.
No, we have to wait another 10 minutes before we can start over again.
What's up, gamers? It's Bad Boy. I should. If this wasn't Sunday night, I might genuinely just put the theme song in over and over again.
I mean, I think you should.
Just as a fun little Christmas 50th episode extravaganza.
I like it when we get meta and artful with our true crime podcast.
Yeah. The first 20 minutes of this episode would be more listenable if you chopped and screwed it.
Yeah. I could remix this episode, actually.
Yeah. Lo-fi true crime podcasts to chill and study to.
Yeah.
That's us.
Bad lo-fi crimes.
AKA my music.
Your music is just bad lo-fi. Woo! Anyway, this article says he inflicts trauma to his victims.
Well, he's a serial killer. Yeah, I mean...
And then kills them.
I feel like that's splitting hairs.
Yeah. It's a little weird. Now, his modus operandi indicates that he is the shopping cart killer. And here's his modus operandi. He inflicts trauma to his victims, kills them, and then transports their bodies to their final resting place, literally in a shopping cart.
I can't even act surprised because I'm like, yeah, I know. I read that on the internet somewhere.
Literally in a shopping cart.
So inflicting trauma, is that a euphemism?
I don't know. 3 of the victims identified so far are women. Identity of a suspected 4th victim has not yet been determined.
Probably a woman, though, right?
Probably a woman.
Yeah.
They're scouring the state and Anthony Gene Robinson's travel records to see if he got the Omicron variant at any point. And here's a quote. Here's a fun little quote. "We need to act right now with our law enforcement partners to figure out who else our killer has had contact with. And what's his MO? Dating sites, motels, blunt force trauma, shopping cart, final resting place." That's a very strange end to that quote.
Now I'm concerned about going back to Virginia. I don't want to.
I don't think you're in the target market.
No, I'm not saying I'm in the target market. I don't want to get mistaken for this individual.
Or you don't want to sort of you don't want to run into the same temptations you run into?
No, because there is no temptation. Let the record show.
You're afraid of what you'll become?
I will say.
I'll just avoid shopping carts. No.
I will say. Anthony Robinson is black, so I don't think that there's going to be a mistaken identity situation.
Okay, well, that's good for me.
That genuinely feels like a twist.
Maybe not.
You're welcome.
Much like in that Defunct Lane video about the fast passes, there's a big twist.
This is a twist-heavy episode.
I can't wait to find out what it is.
Yeah.
The final twist of this episode.
And it's a time loop, and that's
the final twist is that it will not be released.
It never existed.
Is that I kill myself? That's the final twist. That wouldn't be a twist, though. Let's be real, folks.
Arthur just left. Just as a twist.
That's just justifying anything and calling it a twist.
Ready for this twist? And then just end the episode 24 minutes in.
Ready for this twist? And I talk about video games. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hate
not
that.
a podcast that discusses video gaming. That's female behavior.
That is the opposite of female behavior.
A true crime podcast.
Yeah, Arthur, nothing we dislike more than talking about video games, specifically from software games.
That's true.
Yeah. Arthur, are you excited for Elden Ring?
I am, but I just want it to be Sekiro. I'm going to try to make it Sekiro. I'm going to manifest Sekiro and project it onto Elden Ring. And that's my crime. Misappropriating a game. I'm going to go.
Like, because you want to be a samurai, or you want just... I haven't watched that much gameplay of Elden Ring, so I don't really know how different it even is. I know you can do a big energy sword attack thing.
I live to counter.
Yeah. Countering's good.
I'm
a big fan of rolling away.
Rolling is sick. Rolling rules. I'm sure there will be plenty of rolling. The game, in my book, will get 5 out of 5.
Dark Souls 4 removes rolling.
That would... I'm not going to lie. That would be seriously disappointing.
How about Doja Matt, and she's just not shimmery.
I'm stealing that, actually. But yeah, no, Dark Souls without rolling would be problematic.
Skill, do you think you'd be more into video games if you didn't have a wife?
I'm looking forward to playing it.
No. I would be more into video games if I was good at any of them.
You don't have to be good at video games.
No, you don't have to, but
you just got to enjoy the story, man.
I hate
Which you hate. Why do you hate stories?
I just hate lore in video games. Lore is fine outside of video games.
That's insane.
That's just history.
Mind.
There's nothing better than playing a game and then you can buy a whole book that tells you all of the lore that's in the game, and then you're like, "Wow, I'm going to go read Wikipedia." Not Wikipedia, the wiki.
Yeah, when I want to play a game, I want to interact with things. I want to have game mechanics. I don't want a 9-minute cutscene that's unskippable with bad acting and a story that I have not paid attention to at all.
Well,
paying attention to it doesn't help. I've tried.
Yeah, man. You don't even... It sounds like you do not appreciate the Japanese.
I don't that's a whole other element their of style of video game that is popular in the mainstream at the moment. I will play other video games from other cultures of any kind.
Well, wait, would you play something like The Last of Us, or is that too much? Is that too much cutscene?
That's too much. I've watched videos of The Last of Us. It's fine. I'm more of a Hotline Miami type gamer, except I'm not good enough to beat Hotline Miami, so I don't even play that.
You're like a Super Mario gamer.
Yeah. I did really like Odyssey.
The sort of
no masterpiece.
The perspective you're presenting right now reflects to me a life that is not worth living.
Oh, you're telling me, buddy. This is more true than you realize.
Coach and I will be over here being excited about our dragon game. You fucker.
Yeah, I'm not. You can, be inquisitive. Dragons love Inquisition.
It's Dragon Age Inquisition.
I know that it's Dragon Age
Inquisition. I was finishing the bit for it. Shut up. I was participating.
Coach was trying to do you a favor.
It's better. You live in the mystery of, did I understand the assignment? I did. But to the listener, the untrained ear of the listener, who's uncultured, moronic drivel in their head, do they know what Dragon Age Inquisition is? Maybe, maybe not. You leave it open-ended for the people who are in the know, and the people who are not in the know are fine.
Well, okay. Well, I'm just gonna do the bit anyway.
You're insane,
Ring, dude. It's gonna be sick.
It is gonna be sick.
It's gonna give me something to live for. That and the new Pokemon game, and I'm like, cool. I've got early 2022. I'm fine.
I'm going to project all my hopes and dreams, sort of like having a child. I'm going to project everything I want out of life onto this game, and then I'll play it, and it'll be good. But it won't be as good as I need.
It's not going to be everything you want, though.
No, and then I can die, or more likely, I'll find something else to be delusional about.
Yeah, because by the time you beat it, another game, they're going to be like, some other company's going to be like, here's a new game. And you're like, oh, that could be something. And it won't be, but it might.
I remember being
young Sheldon Ring.
I remember being like 13 and reading in Game
Young
Informer.
Sheldon's not a bad show.
I was 13 and read in Game Informer that they were going to release a spy versus spy game. And I vividly remember thinking to myself, like,
that would have been sick.
Damn, it's good to be alive. Oh, the game came out. It was apparently bad. I don't know. I never played it.
Let me take a look at this.
I don't even know what Spy versus Spy really is. Like I watched.
Oh wow, Spy versus Spy, 2005. Oh, there was also one in 1984. The Spy versus Spy for the PS2. There's a story mode. In this single player mode, player is able to choose between Black Spy or White Spy to complete a variety of missions filled with puzzles and a cast of enemies, including the enemy spy, all of which are AI controlled. Story has been developed to be like an extended episode of the 1960s cartoon with a modern twist. Apparently the choice of spy doesn't matter. And yeah, it's story mode does not. It seems like your kind of story. Now for Metacritic, it got a 38 out of 100 for the PS2, but the Xbox version was a 53 out of 100. I don't understand why there's such a discrepancy there.
Xbox gamers have lower standards.
Well, like looking at the review scores, there's a lot. Like the Xbox One actually had like more than 2 reviews, and the PS2 one didn't. This is weird. I don't know. This is very strange. Oh, apparently there was a sequel and a remaster being made in around 2018. And it was canceled.
Yeah, why?
I hope it comes out on the Switch.
It sounds like it was received very poorly.
Well, I mean, it actually has something to do with it was like a IP issue. That was why it got canceled. I didn't realize that Spy versus Spy was like such a hot ticket IP.
I didn't even realize there was a cartoon.
Or perhaps
in
an
the
e-ticket
60s.
IP for those of the. What did you think Spy versus Spy
Well, it was like they had the comic, like the single page comics in Mad Magazine, but wasn't the thing before referencing like a show? I didn't know there was a show.
Yeah, there's a show.
Yeah, I watched the show.
Yeah, I watched the show too. I didn't know there was a comic. I wasn't reading Mad Magazine.
Well, I was. God, I wish Coach didn't know about it, so I could just.
I was not a big fan of Alfred E. Newman.
I wish I could just categorize this like lapse in knowledge as just that it's a weird Canadian thing. Fuck. Now I'm the weird one.
You're trying to gaslight me, and I don't appreciate it.
I love gaslighting people.
Put that in the out of context compilation.
I mean, what context is there? I'm just kidding. It's a joke. That's the context, folks.
That's going in the remix. That's going to be the hook. Anyway, welcome to Bad Boy Crime.
Skillshare, how's the box factory been? I don't think in this iteration we've discussed it.
No,
so we can do a time loop and start the podcast over where I ask you how the box factory is.
The box factory is fine. One guy got fired.
I thought you were going to say one guy got shot.
would have been a better outcome. No, everything's fine. He was okay. I have my new friend. We're getting along. Somebody made reference to the fact that as I am white, I am liable to shoot the place up. A little rude.
You look like you could.
Tell them about the shopping cart killer.
I'm sure that'll go perfectly.
Yeah, you should take all of the newly acquired true crime knowledge that you have from this podcast and just start talking about things. I
should just tell them that I have a true crime podcast and refuse to elaborate.
Be like, you can figure out which one.
It's the one for the fellas.
Which would narrow it down significantly.
It certainly would. Wouldn't make it easier to find, but... yeah, everything's going fine. There's a lot of racism that's happening, and I'm not involved in any of that. But there was...
So you're not involved in stopping the racism either?
I'm not involved in it. I don't belong in those conversations, in my opinion.
Doesn't sound like you're being a very good ally.
Well...
Has anyone at this job asked you if you know a curse word that starts with N?
Not yet, but oh boy, do I hope they do.
What are you going to say?
No.
Or nincompoop?
Yeah.
Or Nimrod?
Nimrod's good. Nimrod was my old gamer tag.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Ooh.
Got him.
It's because I played shooters and Nimrod means hunter.
Yeah,
I knew
that.
Hunting.
Yeah.
God of hunting. And
I
it's
may
a
have
shooting game, so I thought that it was appropriate.
I may have said this before on the podcast, so it's my favorite thing that ever happened. But my friend in middle school, his gamer tag, he wanted it to be Dark Assassin, but he misspelled it, so his gamer tag was Dark Ass Assassin. And at the time, Xbox required you to pay a significant amount of money to change your gamer tag, so he was not able to change it for years.
It's a good one anyway. I don't know why you would change it. But I am going to dock you points because we hate repeating things on this podcast.
Never
we
mind.
Don't redo bits here.
Cut that out. And also cut out the part where I talk about...
Okay, what about...
Please, I want you to cut that out. I'm going to say it's because I'm worried about non-disclosure, but really it's just that it was boring.
Don't worry about it.
I think the work has already been done.
It'll be fine. Anyway, welcome to Bad Boy Crime. We're 40 minutes in. It's time we discuss a crime.
Can I talk about my crime?
Absolutely.
Okay, so today on Twitter, I saw, and I posted this in the Discord, so for all the folks watching at home or listening, probably not at home, because who listens to a podcast in the comfort of their own home? It's weird.
Anyone who listens to this podcast anywhere is my close personal friend.
Well, okay. Sorry. So I saw somebody posted on Twitter a picture from like Barnes and Noble, and it had the tarot card section, which is listed under the self-transformation genre category, which I think is very funny. But all of them had those little like security beeper things, like you move it too quick or you cover it up and it's really loud and obnoxious. Yeah, that was a great impression.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I saw that, and it made me think about how when my ex worked at Ulta, they had those on certain like makeup palettes and stuff, and then that had me thinking about how I went on a date in August, and the girl I was with, we were at like an art museum, and this should have been a red flag, but it wasn't, but it should have been. She kept like touching all of the paintings, which
Shouldn't be doing that.
that's very disrespectful to the art, but she thought it was really funny. And I was just like, yeah,
When
cool,
you say,
whatever.
When you say touching, is it just like just doing a quick little poke, or is it like she fondling these works of art?
I would say it's in the middle of those two examples.
Okay,
but it wasn't just like a silly poke. It was it was a good touch, a good 5-finger press, which you should not be doing.
Well, was she blind?
You shouldn't be touching them anyway, but she kept doing it, and I was like, "Hey, don't do that! Like, there's cameras." No, she was not. I mean, well, she was on a date with me, so maybe she was, but no, she wasn't like trying to braille out the.
No,
yeah, the textures and stuff, but you can't be doing that, and that wasn't even the crime. So then I was like giving her shit. And by the way, my bad boy is this girl I went on a date with once. Yes, I know that's very on brand for me. Whatever.
The girl you went on a date with once 4 months ago.
Yeah, well, enough time's passed where I feel like I can talk about it objectively. And also, she literally did commit a crime, which I'm about to explain. So she was doing all that, and she's like, "Well, this isn't even like the worst thing. Like touching paintings, like this isn't even the worst thing I've done." I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like that's a weird thing to say on a second date. And she's like, "Yeah, like I used to like shoplift from Target like all the time." And I'm like,
"Well, you're allowed to."
Well, no.
You're kind of allowed to.
No, she would do the like self-checkout trick. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And she's like, yeah, I'd also go to like department stores. And like my big trick was like, I would walk in with like a big soda cup with nothing in it. And then like she would walk around pretending to drink from it and then periodically just like put stuff inside of it and then keep walking around. And that's how she would like get away with theft.
I mean,
I didn't think that was a red flag. I do now, of course, but only after I was ghosted. But I thought, I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's okay. You're allowed to steal from Target because they have the rule that they're like, we know that you're stealing, but we won't tell on you until it's over 5,000. So you get the higher penalty from Johnny Law. So just steal like $3,000 worth of stuff and then go home.
Is that true?
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, no one should steal.
I think it's okay to steal from big box corporations. Personally, I don't do it. But if you're out there, I'm encouraging that. Anyway, you guys love Spotify. Oh boy, do I. Hashtag ad.
Now back to the show.
Arthur, what were you going to say? It sounded like you were going to confess to a crime.
Well, I used to be pro stealing. I was too cowardly to do it myself, but I used to be pro stealing because I was a devoted communist. But now that I have a job, I believe in pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. And I think this woman should be sent to prison.
That's the way.
Stealing, but also for ghosting you, because also I'm trad now.
Arthur's really evolved since his last.
How
episode.
great is Arthur? The only one on my side.
I've decided this is a
I let the record show. I gave no tone. Well, thank you. There's not enough of them.
You were very objective.
But let's give me some credit here. I was very toneless. I was very objective about how I was like, she did this, and I could have said a lot of positive or negative things, and I stuck to the facts.
Oh, it was incredible.
I'm a big fan of just the news. Yeah.
It was just the facts.
Yeah. It was like an audio book.
It was.
That's one of the reasons I was on your side.
Arthur, we had an eating intermission. What are you doing?
I'm just eating some. I'm just eating some
We had a
coffee.
whole 45-minute eating intermission.
I'm just eating an Abba. It's a sort of a toffee peanut butter treat. Oh, it's taffy. That explains it.
Hashtag ad. Everyone can buy an Abba Zaba at your local 5 and dime.
If you're wondering why I was muted earlier, it was
5 and
because I
dime?
was respecting the podcast by
And
by
now
not.
you're not. Because it
chewing.
was too important to say that you're having an episode in which you support Coach.
Well, that's how charismatic I am. I can take someone who's taken a vow of silence, and then when I, explain my plight, they'll pipe up and say, "Hey, I stand with Coach."
You'll turn a monk into a gossip girl real quick.
Oh yeah,
I'd do anything for you, Coach.
And IU, Arthur.
I
Thank
would
you.
do at least a couple things for either of you.
Well, you've demonstrated that.
That's
Have I?
I mean, mostly just stuff to get
That's
to
good.
ensure that the podcast happens. But it might not
Yeah.
be directly for
I
us,
have
but at
had
least
to
in our
make sure
vicinity.
this episode happens.
Yeah. We do stuff around us.
Well, that's you kind of doing something for me.
Damn, that's true.
yeah. Skillshore's facilitating things for Arthur to do things for him.
Yeah, I do things while
Now
you and Coach
that's
exist.
a friendship.
I just do things while simultaneously you're existing. And you see that as a positive, and honestly, you're welcome.
That's the most I could ask for. That's the most I'm comfortable asking for.
Honestly, it's a bit too much, but I forgive you. And that is an act of service.
Thank you.
Folks, welcome to Bad Boy Crimes.
I have a crime. Are we ready? I don't mean to brush past. If we have more to say about the rightness or wrongness of stealing from Target, or whether or not it's possible to get away with it up to $5,000.
Honestly, I haven't done the research, but if you're listening at home, go try it out. See what happens.
I should
Yeah,
text that
bad.
girl, have her on the cast to defend herself.
Honestly, yeah.
Finally, one of the times, I mean, that would never happen, but
I think
one of the
if
times
you
we could have
get-
someone defend themselves on the cast.
I think if you get ghosted, you should just invite them on the podcast. There's no way it can get worse, right? And they love true crime podcasts. You had a date with a true crime fanatic recently.
She doesn't even like true crime podcasts.
Well, boy, have I got a true crime podcast for her.
That's why she didn't hate it. I'm not going to go as far and say that she liked it, but
She said that she was laughing.
okay. Well, okay. I was whatever.
Well,
I didn't get the full context, but
obviously
she seemed to be enjoying it.
The podcast is not appealing to fans of true crime. So have you ever considered rebranding to be sort of you're a true crime podcaster's true crime podcast? It's a podcast for podcasts.
Your favorite true crime podcast?
Yeah. Now, I don't know how you would do that.
I love it when podcasts get meta.
You were just praising this podcast for being meta like 10 minutes ago.
In a way.
Well, I like the meta structure of okay, I'm being a hypocrite, whatever.
You could frame that as a kind of meta commentary. Somehow. I mean, that's not what it was. It was only being a hypocrite, but you can get away with it.
Thank you. It was I was actually I was doing a bit, and
it's a satire, folks.
Exactly. It's I love saying things are satire. It is the get out of jail free card of words. And the get out of jail free card for actions is just saying something's for an art project.
Yeah, that's honestly how I've
gotten away with a lot
in my life. It's like, can I take pictures of your feet in a box? It's for an art project, and then every time ghosted, but
except for the one time
I did get married.
So does your wife have good feet?
No, I don't like you asking about my wife's feet.
Well, you're the one who brought up feet, dude. So I'm assuming you. Yeah, I'm just yes-anding your bit, Skillshot. You always ask me to yes-and the bit, and now I'm doing it, and now you're saying, "No, I want you to know." But
I know that's not how you yes-and the bit.
Yes, it is.
Me saying I take pictures of women's feet in cardboard boxes does not lead to what do your wife's feet look like. It leads to yes-anding in I also do that, or that's really weird. Maybe don't do that.
No, I think I was yes-anding the bit.
I think that you're crossing a line that ought not be crossed.
Okay, so that's a no.
Well, it's satire.
The answer is no. We can move on.
Okay. Well,
Arthur, what do your feet look like?
I don't think I'm flattering myself too much when I say I think they're pretty normal feet. The pinky toes could use some work. Maybe a splint.
Are you gaslighting me?
I dated a girl who was telling me that she used to get paid for feet pics. That was fun.
Did you pay her?
No.
Sounds like theft to me.
I didn't receive any feet pics because I don't want any, but I was just, we were talking about feet. I was like, yeah, then that happened. I remembered. And then that girl ghosted me too. And she doesn't drive. Well, you don't drive either, Skillshy. So
that's true. I don't drive. Driving is bad for the environment.
Well, you know what? Maybe the environment is bad. Has anyone considered that?
These are all really good
corporations.
Yeah, maybe they're good.
Arthur, who is your bad boy?
My bad boy as Dagobert. Not Dogbert of Dilbert fame. But Dagobert.
That's what I was thinking of.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, it's very close.
All right.
The letters are all there. You just have to do away with an A. And move an O around. This was a failed German cartoonist who, at the age of 38, was tired of being a professional sign painter and also had accrued some slight brain damage from inhaling sign paint fumes. and also loved to make gadgets. So he started bombing department stores.
Love gadgets.
That's quite the leap.
He would ransom department stores, saying, if you do not pay me in these incredibly complicated Riddler-esque ways, he would organize the handovers in insane ways that usually broke down entirely. That he would bomb the department stores, and he was not bluffing. He did, and for I believe 6 or 7 years, he could not be caught. And his real name, it turned out, they discovered, was, and I've forgotten it. And hold on, and just shut up for a second. And I'm still not finding it.
Dagobert?
Just 1 second. No, that was not his real name. That is the German name for Scrooge McDuck. Let's see. Arno Funke. It's the first 2 words in the article I got most of this information from. So that's why I couldn't find it. It was hard to find because it was the first.
I could see how you could miss it. Yeah. They're going to start with some bullshit. You skip the first paragraph.
Yeah. But it turns out the name was in there. So this is an interesting story to me because he is so strange, and also so many strange things about Germany are sort of revealed in this story. It's a lot of strangeness. This story led me to discover that apparently Daffy Duck is the most popular fictional character in Germany.
The one who dressed up like Hitler during the 1930s?
Well,
that was Donald, I think.
You seem to know a lot about Hitler there, Coach.
No, I've been watching a lot of Defunct Land. I know a lot about Disney. I'm not a Hitler stan. I'm actually just a Disney adult.
What's the difference?
What a funny piece of information to accuse someone of knowing too much about Hitler because of. Not even about Hitler.
That's what they want you to think.
Apparently, Daffy Duck comics, at least at this time period, were like selling at the same rate as Superman comics in the U.S. People fucking loved Daffy Duck.
Stupid.
And all of the adjacent properties, like Dagobert, which I would love to. I wish I could say in a way that sounded German. I looked up pronunciation before this, and there were like 3 different YouTube videos that promised to tell me how to pronounce Dagobert, and then it was just like the Microsoft text-to-speech voice saying Dagobert, Dagobert. So that's what I'm reduced to. Yes. Let's see. Brain damage.
You have not done appropriate research for this podcast.
I'm sorry. I actually I was gonna joke. I was gonna and Coach, I'm deeply sorry, but I was going to say that maybe next time I'll just talk about a woman who wronged me. But then I thought, I bet I could do that. I could probably talk about that for a while. I mean, I have.
Well, it's been a while since I've done it, and I didn't even. And her crime was literally a crime.
That's true. Yeah,
her wronging me was a very minor part in that story. So, this is called character development. This is called a narrative arc. Something that Skillshot wouldn't know because he doesn't play video games with lore in them.
Yeah, but I also don't watch movies with character arcs. So think about that.
That's worse.
You're sort of a 2-dimensional character. Meanwhile, playing a lot of video games and watching a lot of movies
has 2-dimensional.
Yes, these things have made Coach and me smarter and more interesting.
You're sharp.
It's true. Yeah, dude.
So anyway, he was bombing these department stores at night. He would put the bombs in during the day and then set the timers to blow up at night. And he became a kind of a folk hero, even though, and this, as far as I remember, did not really come up in the article. He was placing bombs next to people. Even if he was pretty sure they weren't going to go off at night, he was still just putting bombs in crowded public spaces. So,
oh yes, a folk hero, otherwise known as a terrorist.
Yeah. Or a Scrooge McDuck type. I guess. I don't know why.
Scrooge
I don't really understand
always,
that nickname.
He hates capitalism, famously, Scrooge McDuck. And I believe he did, not for the purposes of extortion or ransom, but I believe he did bomb several Macy's.
Well, he was at Occupy, and he was disheartened by how little action came out of it. Scrooge McDuck. Okay.
Yeah. He couldn't do the Quaker hand symbols because he had wings. They love Quaker hand symbols. Anyway,
He also
that's an
would.
hour. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm going to play the theme song now.
Dagobert would. He would become extremely drunk before dealing with the police, which did lead to some troubles because he was very smart. It was just he's an interesting kind of a confluence of factors because he clearly was very smart and had a very kind of mechanically almost ingenious mind, but he did also have paint fume poisoning and was drunk all the time. So really just interesting how he oscillates from being a Batman villain to just being like a Keystone cop, but I guess a Keystone criminal. He at
Worse,
first
a criminal or a cop? Think about it, folks.
What's the difference? In many ways, it's the cops who are bombing German department stores. Actually, it's funny you bring that up because
think about it.
He would write angry letters to the police that or to the department stores that by not paying him, they were putting people in danger. And then the police once said that they didn't think he would actually set off a bomb during a department store during the day, and he did take that as a challenge, but he made it a small bomb so that no one would get hurt. So in a way, he did sort of frame it like
honorable man.
Yeah, he was something of a German samurai.
The first ACAB, dude.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Love a samurai.
For his first handoff, he had the idea, and it seems like a pretty good idea. I don't really understand the mechanics of like how these things work, but he did coordinate with the police so they'd have to drop the money from the money that he was extorting from them from a moving subway, like above ground subway. So I guess just an above ground train that was like right above the auto repair workshop where he also worked.
Away.
So he wouldn't tell them where they needed to throw it off the train until the very last second when he would see the train coming, and then he'd say, throw it. They'd throw it. He'd go fetch it. It does make me wonder how they didn't catch him. Like, just you'd think you just have police along that train route. But who can know the mind of God?
A long route, probably.
Probably. Although they did eventually
famous for their trains.
They eventually spent $24 million trying to catch him. So they could have saved some money by having some guys along the tracks.
Yeah, but who can predict that? Who could predict that?
That's my reaction to every bad decision is who knows?
What if instead of the German trains that they had that one train from Thomas the Tank Engine, the MILF one?
Folks, shout out Vanessa, Veronica.
I don't remember what her fucking name was.
Who knows, dude?
If you go listen to the Ethan episode.
Yeah. Go listen to the Rockville episode, folks.
Okay.
It's a good one. I think it's my new recommendation to get into the podcast.
I wonder why that is.
Why is it?
I don't know. That's why I'm wondering, because I haven't the faintest idea.
Because it's a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's about Dark Souls.
Man,
I don't know what you're referencing.
I wish real life was more like Dark Souls.
I wish Dark Souls is more like real life.
No. I mean, look, all I want to do is, hang out at a bonfire, have a weird guy laugh, there's a lady at the bonfire. Maybe some guy kills her or not. If I killed the guy first, that's cool.
I want to be an onion knight.
People everywhere that are trying to kill you. Oh yeah, that guy's cool. The thick boy armor.
Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. That's the episode. I have things to do, like edit this episode.
Oh yeah.
I got a lot of editing to do for the meta bit, for the excessive whatever bullshit we're doing. Arthur's not going to put in the work.
I've proven that.
I'll tell you that right now. I've proven that. He hates putting in the work for a podcast that he's not a part of that offers him zero benefit.
Can I give a short coda?
Take a third of the cut of the Patreon money.
You can give a one-word plug.
No, Arthur, say as much as you want.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I'll try to split the difference. He got caught. And he went
You can do whatever you want.
He went to jail for 6 years. But his sentence was originally for how long? I think he got off on parole, so the sentence was longer, but he was convicted and sentenced to like 7 years, and then the prosecution appealed, which I did not know was possible. And then he got 10 years, but then he was released shortly after. But in prison, he was on a work release program where he got to leave to draw cartoons for Der Spiegel. So his dreams came true.
I thought you were gonna say he got to work at a department store.
That's punishment.
And he died in an unrelated bombing.
The work release, he gets to go to the yeah, somebody else got him.
Yeah, it was the mystery man with 21 faces.
Folks. Anyway, cue the theme song. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Do you want to plug anything for Christmas? Listen to Christmas music, folks. I make it. Other people make it. Just is a good time.
And another round of applause, please, for Christmas music.
I hate Christmas, so
Perfect. I really thought one of you would jump in with something at the end, and fuck you guys.
Where am I?